Welcome back to Fast Market here on the TD Ameritrade Network. Let's bring in our next guest for our cash tag segment, and that's going to be Megan Brantley, Vice President of Research at Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Megan.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, so we're talking Dollar General. We had earnings from Dollar Tree a couple weeks ago. The stock popped initially but came back down. What are the expectations here for Dollar General according to your data?
Yeah, so whenever we look at Dollar General, they've kind of pre-released preliminary earnings, at least in the fourth quarter, and those came in a little bit weaker than expected. They released those at the end of February, and I think that that's kind of hurt the stock in the near term. They attributed some of this to just pressures and repercussions of the big winter storm that we had. So for us, looking ahead at Dollar General into this event, we're really looking at what that guidance looks like, what that, what our current quarter pace looks like, because we're collecting this data in real time. And so we kind of have an insight into how consumers are shopping with Dollar General. And I guess on a positive note, we do see some signs of improvement in the first quarter. When we look at purchase intent mentions, so people talking about shopping at Dollar General, we see those about 3% higher versus last quarter. And we also see that year-over-year growth improving versus last quarter. So I think that that's a good sign. You can see this happening right here on this chart. That's that far right bar, that first quarter of 2023, and that started in early February. So this is signs for us that, consumers are spending, that things are improving a bit in the first quarter. And it's another sign that, one of the things that Dollar General has benefited from, especially as, food prices remain elevated on a year-over-year basis, is attracting a higher income shopper. And so one thing that we're asking is, can Dollar General continue to keep this higher income shopper? Can they provide a good in-store experience? And we're seeing early signs that they can. And this chart, this kind of shows that food price concern. And I know that even though this is easing just on a month-by-month basis, these concerns are still really high for consumer. This is still a major pressure point. And Dollar General is one of the discount retailers that benefits from consumers who are looking for more affordable grocery options and food options. And this is kind of a differentiator for Dollar General versus peers like a Dollar Tree, for example, or even a Five Below. So heading into this earnings, we're officially, I guess, a more neutral status, just because we already kind of know where the fourth quarter is going to fall, but we do see some signs of improvement into the first quarter.
Megan, their CEO came out with a comment about what you just mentioned, that trading down. Dollar Tree came out with the same kind of a comment after their earnings. So did Walmart, about higher income people moving down to the discount stores. Just like in the banks, people are moving to big banks, they're moving to lower price stores at the same time, Megan. The question is, you can tell their offense is on the field because they've got new projects. This DG Fresh, where they're actually doing perishables and bringing in coolers for chilled drinks and things like that. They're doing a lot of things. Is it going to show up? And why, Megan? Why, on your total mentions versus sentiment, they seem to be doing well in terms of overall mentions, but the happiness, they're the lowest. Now, I don't really compare them too much to Five Below, since that's basically a toy in a candy store, but Dollar Tree, I definitely compare them to, correct?
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. When we look at this scatter plot, we see Dollar General doing well in terms of buzz growth. And part of this just has to do with how prevalent Dollar Generals are in the country. I think there's a Dollar General within 5 miles of 75% of the U.S. population. So that's insane. So for a lot of people, Dollar General may be their only option for something like the fresh produce that you mentioned. They may not have the luxury of, always shopping at, a new and nice Kroger like we have access here in Louisville. So I think that this kind of differentiates, like you mentioned, Dollar General from a Five Below. But from a sentiment perspective, that's definitely something we're watching, because you can see Dollar General's sentiment is, lower than these more novelty-based retailers like a Five Below, even like a Dollar Tree. But if we were to plot Walmart on this chart, Dollar General's sentiment is higher than Walmart's by about 4 points. So I think that that is promising, but it has degraded a bit on a year-over-year basis. So we do see, as these new consumers are shopping at Dollar General, there have been some negative reports on just the organization of the stores, the cleanliness of the stores. So I think that there's definitely room for improvement in terms of the shopping environment that Dollar General can create for consumers. But consumers are reporting, they're very pleased with the price point. And so I think that that's really what's driving these new consumers into the doors.
Yeah, and Kevin did mention the DG Fresh stores that they're implementing in a bunch of areas. That will help because it seems like, Walmart and some of the other grocers have done really well as inflationary pressures take hold. But I wanted to kind of reference this food price concern mentions count chart that you have here for us, Megan. Will that kind of equate to, the lower guidance that they gave in February? It doesn't seem to have hit the stock that much, but this data seems to be that, hey, if there's price concerns, that's right in the wheelhouse of a place like Dollar General, right?
Yeah, that's really what we see to be the main driver of this increased demand for Dollar General are people who are looking to save and looking to cut costs, and they're just shopping very intentionally. So you probably have, you have more people who are willing to go shop in a Dollar General. And then also just the core Dollar General base is definitely engaged because they're looking for these savings. They're looking for these deal discoveries. I know Andy talked about, deal discovery yesterday, that's a really important driver. So this is an area that really could serve as a tailwind for Dollar General. I think in the near term, one thing that we'll be watching for is how well Dollar General can manage costs. So, that could come into play, especially this quarter. But at least from a demand perspective, and when you look at this long term, this is a really interesting opportunity for Dollar General as it does welcome in these higher earning customers and shoppers and provides them with an experience. And ideally, a Dollar General would keep these shoppers around. So for now, they are keeping these shoppers around, but I think there's definitely room for improvement in terms of the overall store experience that would help Dollar General's growth long term.
So the stock's down about nearly 12% so far this year. We've seen it in a downtrend. What kind of earnings score do you have for Dollar General going into the report?
We are almost exactly neutral. I will say we do have a higher score for Dollar General versus Five Below, like we talked about yesterday. And part of this is due to just Dollar General is kind of functioning as this essential status retailer, right? If you need a gallon of milk and some bread, you're likely to head to a Dollar General. You're probably not heading to a Five Below or a Dollar Tree. So we do see it outperforming peers, but we are technically neutral heading into this event.
Neutral it is going into this report. A lot of uncertainty out there with every company, but great stuff as always, Megan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
That's Megan Brantley, Vice President of Research at Like Folio, giving us the data on Dollar General.